Well, mainly we had Todd Grisham, Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole calling the action. Todd Grisham really stuck in between Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler, who is very glued together, and they didn't really pick up some of Todd Grisham's very good points. I think Grisham did very good tonight, and I'll come back to those points later on. Earlier on in the night, they made points out during the first match, Miz versus Morrison, that you really don't want to. I mean, normally you're out there, you're resting for yourself. If you lose, you only answer to yourself. But tonight, if you lost that match, you really had to go back there and face the entire Team Raw. But I also think you had to go back and face the entire roster, feeling I lost. I have to explain myself to like 40 wrestlers for representing you and not bringing it. This match, I really thought John Morrison was going to win. This was the only match of the Raw vs SmackDown matches where you really felt confident on who's going to win. Everyone thought Morrison was going to win, more or less everyone, but The Miz picked up the win. That was a surprise win. It was a kind of good match. Well, it was a good match. It was not as good as it could be, but I think that was good because it was not supposed to steal the show. It was not supposed to be the best match. It was supposed to be a crowd warmer. So with that in mind, I think they deliver as they should. The Miz won. It was 1-0 for Raw, a lead for Raw, and Cole and Lawler was as cocky as ever. By the commentator booth was this trophy. With these 3 matches, the team getting the most wins wins the trophy, and with that in mind you really understood that it's going to be 1-1 before the last Team Raw vs Team SmackDown match, which was the crucial match, of course. And when you saw that, you pretty much knew that the SmackDown Divas was the favorite, so that opened for the Miz winning that match, and he did. SmackDown Divas won their match in an average Diva match with Beth Phoenix pinning Melina in the ring, the Divas champion, solidifying her role as the top contender for the Women's Champion Michelle McCool on SmackDown in a future date. So that's interesting as well. And then we had the fatal 4-way for the World Championship with Undertaker defending against CM Punk, Batista, Ray. You really knew, most people thought that Undertaker was going to retain. Some people believed Batista, very few, more or less, no one believed Ray was going to win. A very elite few believed CM Punk was going to win, especially after what happened last week on SmackDown. This match was good, very interesting, a lot of near falls. CM Punk was the rescuer of the match several times, breaking up pinfalls, and for the bigger part of the match, Ray and Batista formed a solid team until the end, where they broke each other's pinfalls, which caused Batista of all people to be tombstoned and pinned, something I never believed. I don't know if we're going to see. I really thought we're going to see a build-up with Batista, Undertaker for Survivor Series, which is in Washington DC MCI Center, and that would leave CM Punk feuding with Rey Mysterio, which should have cost CM Punk a lot. However, Batista was pinned after the match in a promo in the ring. He blamed Rey Mysterio for the loss, said he was going to cut his head off, rip his head off, and he attacked Rey, and that was what it seems an alleged heel turn from Batista. He slammed Ray into the barricade and punted him to the head and bet him up. The crowd really seemed terrified and petrified at what's going on, especially the kids. So that was the big shocker of the night. I don't believe too many people saw that coming. And however, seeing that happen, you really believed, I believed, well, Cena might go to SmackDown. They might want to need a new feud. They might have turned Batista and heel to face John Cena at WrestleMania. That was what I thought. We don't know where this might be going out. We might still have Batista versus Undertaker for Survivor Series. Batista might win the title, then go on to feud for 2 or 3 months with Rey Mysterio for the very title. They are good friends privately, and they would love to work with each other for more matches. I guarantee that. Still a good match, and still this pay-per-view had a real feel to it. Like I said, you really felt, wow, this is the bragging right feel. I felt that with the ring ropes half being blue, half being red, the ring posts half being red, half being blue. The wrestlers had their own entrances. Maybe they should be more pointed out with a more apparent Raw entrance, more apparent SmackDown entrance. Maybe that would have been overdoing it, I don't know. Still, they did it very good, and it was a solid pay-per-view, a very solid pay-per-view, only 5 matches. Team Raw vs Team SmackDown. Team SmackDown won after Big Show betrayed his own team, choke-slamming Kofi Kingston, allowing Chris Jericho to pick up the win while Big Show left. There was no Jericho celebrating, but it was kind of a Jericho win. putting up that they are a dominating tag team, and this might also trigger a future Jericho versus D-Generation X feud, as Big Show betrayed D-Generation X in this match. He also knocked Triple H out. Triple H looked dumb, very strong throughout the match. So did Hart Dynasty for a big part of it. Shawn Michaels took a big toll in the match, a beating, which he's very good at, selling a beatdown, and so on. It was a solid match. It's very easy to get lost in a 7 vs 7 match. Ross has pointed it out in his latest report that these matches are very hard, but they did it good. They were strictly focused on what they should do in this match, and there wasn't that much all of an all-out war where you really couldn't control what was going on. Some wrestlers got more space than others. Then we will move on to the Iron Man match. First off, 11 faults, that's tying the most faults ever with The Rock versus Triple H for Judgment Day in 2000. I think this match was very good. It ended with, people will discuss this, Cena bled in the match, by the way, which will make a lot of people happy. Blood, 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 you know, blah, 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 blood, 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 blah, 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 blah. This will make a lot of people happy because they got blood. On the other hand, Cena didn't bleed as much. He wasn't red in his entire face, so this might still piss a lot of people off because they might have wanted gallons of blood. However, I think it still was very daring to do this cut early on, because it was 45 minutes left of the match when Cena started bleeding, and that's, to me, was a risk move. What if it got cut really bad? However, it was a lot of faults early on. They could have. There was a fall where they pinned each other at the same time, being passed out with one arm around the other because they hit an FU and a RKO at the same time on each other. They could have just, that was a good move, but they could have cut the double fallout, having the match end 5-4 and just have a little less falls in the match. That's my personal opinion. Still, it didn't affect the match that much. It was a very interesting fight around the arena where the fireworks, they went through this stage end that they set up. And yeah, Orton tapped out with 4 seconds left. He did watch the clock when it was 40 seconds left, and he tapped out. And some people are going to complain about that. On the other hand, human nature is when you are submitted to pain, your main goal is, after suffering through a big deal of it, you just want to get out of it. No matter what it costs, no matter what the circumstances are, you just want to get rid of the pain. And that's probably why you had Orton tap out as he did. If the match had been a tie and a draw, they would have gone into overtime to stress that. And here is what I think Todd Grisham made several good points. When he had a 5-4 lead, Orton, he said, "Are you surprised that Orton doesn't have a big lead?" They didn't really want to jump onto that. And we also said that Orton dominated through the match. No, King didn't buy that either. They really didn't want to sell what Todd Grisham said for the bigger part of this match, despite him doing very good remarks on it. Maybe it was because they don't like him, maybe it was because he was a SmackDown guy and they wanted to call the match for themselves. Be that as it may, however, you might be pissed off. Legacy was in the match, however, Teddy DiBiase did not cost Orton the match as a lot of people believed he would do. However, Legacy, Cody Rhodes and Teddy DiBiase bet up John Cena in the match, allowing Orton to tie the match with 3-3 before Kofi Kingston came out chasing them off. Also, Cody Rhodes and Kofi Kingston had a fallout after the Team Raw vs Team SmackDown match where Rhodes blamed Kofi Kingston for being pinned, so that would probably be a feud in the making for Cody Rhodes mainly. Teddy DiBiase might go on to other things while still teaming as Legacy. This match, however, yeah, Orton lost, but if you ask yourself who was the better wrestler in this match, well, who was pinned when it was 1.5 minutes left with the referee was being out after being hit with an RKO? That was Cena. Cena's match was lost there. Orton had the match won. Orton dominated the match for like 25 minutes. He completely dominated, mauled John Cena out for a major part of the match. That's almost half the match. He had the match won, as I said, by the end of it. Like Todd Grisham said, it was surprising that Orton only had a 1-fall lead, 4-3 lead, then Cena tied to 4-4 with a fluke pinfall, just rolling him up for the cradle and 4-4. And that's, despite that's like the only move Cena got in for like 20 minutes. So he was very lucky to tie the game there. Orton then went on to have a 5-4 lead. So yeah. And that was not the only fluke win for Cena in this match. Early on in the match, like a few minutes into the match, he locked Orton into the STF and Orton tapped out. before feeling anything because he just wanted to save the energy. So that was a strategic move to tap out, but it cost him later. So yeah, Orton dominated the match. He lost in 2 fluke falls, and he also had the match won. So Orton did not come off looking bad in this match. People should remember that. So all in all, I think this was a very good pay-per-view. They delivered, and we're now heading into Survivor Series, which is 4 weeks away, with Raw coming tonight. I think, as I said, Grisham, Ross, and Lawler did good. Not Ross, Lawler, Cole, and Grisham did good tonight. And one more thing, if you're interested in watching Raw and SmackDown here on YouTube, there is only one guy you should go to who has all the episodes uploaded right after they have aired, the entire episodes, and the link to his account, his channel, is right here in the info box. So just go check for it, and thank you for watching. Feel free to share your thoughts, and have a nice day.